The purpose of this video is to show you how to assess your classmates' videos and justifications for assignment 4. Now, at this point, you should have read the additional instructions for assignment 4, and with that, you would have created your assignment 4 video. You would have posted it to Blackboard along with your justifications, and you are at the point of ready to assess your classmates' videos. So the first thing you need to do is to obtain a voting sheet, which I have posted onto Blackboard, and you'll see you have your voting sheet that has the instructions, and then it actually has the different tasks and how you're going to actually assess your classmates. Now, it's important that you read everything. I know it's detailed, but that's part of being a college student, is to be able to read and follow instructions. So I really need you to read everything and make sure that you're following things accordingly so that everyone is assessing everyone objectively and following the criteria. So to help you with this process, we're going to go through this to give you an example. So as it indicates at the top of the instruction sheet, it asks you to print out the first 2 pages. And the reason for that is you're going to be using these instructions as you assess each classmate, but you're going to actually write your assessments on the subsequent pages that actually have these tables. So these tables here correspond with the questions. And each of the tables is related to the assigned task. Now, in this video, I'm using the example of mine, which is shopping resale to buy clothes. Now, none of the students were assigned this. The tasks that were assigned to the students are actually will be listed specifically on your voting page, so you'll see. But for this example, we're going to use my task, which is resale shop to buy your clothing, because this is our example. So you see the task up there, and here are the 3 hypothetical students for this example who will be creating videos for this particular task. With that said, let's go back to the instruction sheet up here, just like you do. So again, I would strongly suggest you print out these 2 pages so you have them in front of you, so you could follow along as you are assessing the students. So the first question asks, did student create a video that focused on the assigned task? So if we go down to the table, we see we got these 3 students. In order to check out those 3 students, we have to go into Blackboard. And you'll see I created a fake link here, but you'll be doing the same process. So you'll click on the link, and we see that 2 out of 3 students have posted their video and justification. So we're going to start with Sally White as our first example. And we see here that she has a link. Let's click the link. So we see the link does go to YouTube. We're going to watch the video. Hello, communication students. Jenny from the block here. You're used to seeing me all glamorous on stage and in my movies, but I'm just like you, casual and a day-to-day basis. Even when I'm chilling, I dress well by shopping resale. Yeah, you heard me right. I buy high-end clothing for under 20 bucks by trolling the resale aisles. Look what I bought. This purse for $19.99 and these pants for $14.99 at the Goodwill. Shopping resale not only saves you money, but it saves the environment. So go and do it. Shop resale. And if you do, text me a photo of your resale receipt, and I'll text you with a free download of my latest song. What are you waiting for? Get your resale on.
You're doing it well.
Okay, so we see that there was a successful video posted. So let's go back to our sheet, and the first thing it asks us to evaluate is, did student create a video that focused on the assigned task? And the answer is yes. So our 3 options are, if student did not post a video link or the link doesn't open, then you're going to circle disqualified on the sheet. Well, this person actually was successful. It also says if student created a video on a topic other than what was assigned, circled last place. Well, once again, This student created, Sally White created a video and it was successfully posted. So here it says if students created the video, circle successfully posted a working video and move on to question 2. So we could come here and we see Sally White. She was successful in posting the video, so I'm going to highlight that answer, and then we're going down to number 2. And here it says, to follow the assessment on page 1, did student create a video that is exactly 1 minute? And the instructions indicate, so yes, the video time was exactly 60 seconds or 1 minute, they'd get 2 points. If the video time is off by 5 seconds or more or less, then they're only going to get 1 point. And if the video is off by 6 seconds or more or less, they're going to get 0 points. So if we go back to the video, we see it was actually 55 seconds. So according to our criteria sheet, this person is only going to get 1 point because it was off by 5 minutes. It needed to be 60 seconds or 1 minute exactly. So we're going to go back to our table and we're going to put that for Sally White. She's only going to get 1 point here because it was only 55 seconds. So now we're going to go to the next question, which is question 3. Here it says, consider your attitudes about the task at hand before watching the student's video. Circle your attitude about carrying out the task at hand based on this scale, where 10 represents an extremely high attitude towards carrying out the behavior and 1 represents a low attitude about carrying out the behavior. Well, I would think that my attitude about shopping resale was probably around a 7 before watching the video. So I'm going to either keep that in my head, or I could already go ahead and indicate the 7 here. Okay, so I'm going to type a 7. Actually, let me put the 7 over here because technically we're hoping that the second answer is higher. But I'm going to put the 7 down there. And then it says, for step 2, now reflect on how your attitude has changed, if any, based on watching the student's video, and circle your attitude after watching the video. So I think my attitude went up probably to a 9 after watching the video. So I'm going to put the 9 here. And you'll see that the remainder step of step 3 is asking you to subtract the second number from the first. So we're assuming the second number is going to be a little higher than the first. Hopefully we won't have people whose attitudes go down as a result of watching people's videos, but I guess it could happen, and then you'd have a negative. But for the purposes of this example, like I said, before I watched the video, I'd say shopping resale, I was at a 7. After watching the video, I'm at a 9. So here what I'm asking you to do is take your 2 scores, so 9 minus 7, and that equals 2. So for this criteria, Sally White is going to end up getting a 2 because that is the change that she has influenced based on what my attitude was prior to watching the video and then after. So then I move on to the next question, and that is number 4, and it's telling me to add the points up for questions 2 and 3. So here, and I make it clear for you because you can see the little lines, what we're doing is we're going back. Question 2, she scored 1 point. Question 3, she scored 2 points. So we're going to total that to be a 3. Okay? So her total is a 3. I mean, if I'm fine with you not putting in these question 1 and 2 answers if you just want to put in the 3. The reason I did that is just to make it very clear that we're adding up questions 2 and 3, because we're going to end up rank ordering these students based on their totals, and so these totals are helping to keep things objective. Okay, so once I do question 4, I go on to the next one, which is question 5. Now here I'm going from evaluating the video to evaluating the student's justification of why they created the video. So question 5 asked, did student post to Blackboard a justification? So if we return to Blackboard, we see that Sally White did post indeed a justification. So if we go back and read the options that we have to grade Sally White, it says if student did not post a justification to Blackboard at all, then we need to circle disqualified in question 5, table 5, but that doesn't apply to Sally White. The next option is if student posted a justification, but it was regarding a video on a topic other than what he or she was assigned to her. Then you got to circle last place. Well, Sally White did create a video that was her assigned task. Remember, her assigned task was to shop resale, to buy clothes, and that's the video she created. And she did successfully post it. So we're going to go ahead and circle successfully posted in the appropriate area here. And then move on to the next question, which is question 6. So here, question 6 says, within the student's post to Blackboard, did she or he address each of these items? And then the student needed to answer what persuasion strategies they incorporated into their video. They need to illustrate how so, and then they need to justify why they use certain persuasion strategies based on their audience analysis. And here you're going to actually assess points to how they answered each of these 3 items. So the first one is, did student address what persuasion strategies he or she incorporated into his or her video? And they're going to get 2 points for a solid yes. If it's somewhat, then they're only going to get 1 point. And if it's not at all, then they're going to get 0. So let's read the first one, what Sally White wrote. I incorporated peripheral route processing into my commercial by using a celebrity, that is J-Lo, and creating visually stimulating images. Further, I offered my audience something for free to get them to act. In addition to using PRP, I also incorporated central route processing by showing the audience the clothing that was purchased from a resale shop, along with how much J-Lo paid, in order to give the CRP audience members logical and factual information. Besides using CRP and PRP, I also used persuasive strategies for dealing with a hostile audience. For example, I first emphasized common ground by saying I'm a casual gal just like you. I also incorporated a strategy for the apathetic audience by inviting them to participate, that is, by shopping resale and texting a copy of the receipt. Lastly, for those audience members who were already highly motivated, I used vivid imagery by showing J-Lo looking glamorous, which reinforces the highly motivated audience that already has high attitudes. So we can see that indeed she answered that question. She acknowledged quite a number of strategies that she incorporated into the video. So we're going to actually give her the 2 points for that. And we're going to go down to question 6A and highlight the 2 points for her. Then we're going to go up to 6B. 6B wants to know, did she illustrate how she incorporated the persuasive strategies into her video? So let's go back and see what she wrote. She wrote, for PRP, that was illustrated by visually appealing images of J-Lo, incorporating flashy music, offered a freebie by carrying out the persuasive act, that is, shop resale. She illustrates the CRP strategy that she used, and in the video she said by logically presenting facts, in this case showing them the purse and the pants that J-Lo bought and the prices she paid to reinforce the value of shopping resale. I also mentioned the fact of saving money and the environment. For the hostile audience strategy, that was illustrated by her relating to audience by showing J-Lo as a casual dresser in her downtime, which is like what she found in her audience analysis, specifically the demographics section. I also allowed for image to stay for a period of time to really get the message to sink in. She then goes and shows how she incorporated the apathetic audience strategies. Here I invited them to take action by asking them to shop resale, and I was rewarding them for taking such action by giving them a free download of the J-Lo song if they text a copy of their resale receipt. And then finally she acknowledges how she incorporated the highly motivated audience strategies. And here she illustrates by saying, I used a lot of vivid images of J-Lo looking glamorous to support the actions of the highly motivated who are already buying resale. Plus I validated their actions by confirming support for saving money and the environment. So once again, we felt that she was, yes, an absolute yes, in illustrating what needed to be illustrated. So we're going to go down to question 6B and give Sally White the 2 points that she has earned. Then we're going to go to 6C. Here 6C wants us to justify why the student used certain persuasion strategies based on his or her audience analysis. So we go back to see what the student said, and notice that the student communicates what their audience analysis data stated specifically, and then showed why that data lent to certain persuasive strategies. So specifically, she says, my data showed that I had 30% of high attitudes and 70% of low attitudes regarding buying clothing at resale shops. Moreover, my audience's self-efficacy was 63% low efficacy and 37% high. Subjective norms had the majority in the neutral category, or about 89% overall. Based on these 3 variables, most of my audience had low knowledge, skill, attitude, and so average support for shopping resale. Therefore, I knew I had to incorporate a lot of PRP strategies into my commercial. Further, in the demographics section, 95% of the audience described themselves as casual dressers who spend about $250 a year. Based on the overall data then, my main focus was on applying PRP strategies along with a hostile approach, which I tried to placate by appealing to their casual dresser mentality. However, since I did have about a third of the audience who possessed high efficacy and attitude, I thought I better appease them as well with some of the CRP strategies along with some of the highly motivated audience validation. So again, the student was very specific in relating the actual results of their audience analysis. They tied it to their strategy, the persuasive strategies that they used. So again, in this case, we're going to give the full 2 points. We'll go back to the data, award them the full 2 points for 6C, and we finished with that. So we move on to the next question, which is 7, and here they're saying add the points of 6A, B, and C together so we could get a total. So once again, here you can either put in each answer. So she had a 2, a 2, a 2, which is a 6. But my greatest concern is to make sure that you have the correct total and highlight that so we know that she got 6 points in the end. Okay, so we're done with Sally White, and now we can move on to the next student. And we see the next student, last name is Lyons. So if we go back to Blackboard, and we go under the same thread, because remember, we're still evaluating, in this case, in this example, the students who were assigned the resale task. Now we're going to go to John Lyons. Okay. Now here we notice that John Lyons doesn't have any justifications posted, but does have a link. So let's go ahead and click his link and let's listen to his video, which has no words. I should say no sound. Notice that his video really isn't talking about resale. It was talking about image. Oh, it's going to the next video now. So let's go back and first notice that it's 26 minutes because we're going to need to know that. So for now, we'll leave that up there. Let's go back to our thing. So the first question again, let's go back. It said, did student create a video that focused on the assigned task? If student did not post a video link at all, or the link doesn't open, then we got to circle disqualified. Well, he did post a video link, okay, so he's not disqualified. But the second one says, if student created a video on a topic other than what was assigned, then circle last place and justify your decision by writing in parentheses what you thought the topic of the video was about. You don't need to evaluate them any further. So in this case, he created a video, but his video is all about looking good. So if you ran this again, you'll see that here he's taken different people who have quoted things about looking good. But that's not what the task was about. The task assigned to this student was to convince people to shop resale. So this student will actually get a last place ranking. So we're going to actually go down to the table, and here for him we're going to highlight last place, because while they created a video, they did not do it on the appropriate task. So they get a last place rating. Now, the next question, or it says after this, so we could move on to question 5. So we don't need to evaluate this person anymore. They're going to receive a last place. And matter of fact, I'm going to go to question 4 and highlight again that they get a last place. In other words, they don't get any total for 2 and 3. We're not grading them anymore. They didn't follow directions. They're getting a last place status. So now we can go to the justifications to see if they posted any justifications. And if we go back to Blackboard, you recall he didn't post any justifications. But even if John Lyons here did, he still would not get any points because he didn't create a video that was on the task at hand. So here he would also fall under this category, that if a student posted a justification, but it was regarding a video on a topic other than what was assigned to him or her, then we would circle last place. Now this guy didn't actually post one, so he could actually be disqualified because he did not even post a justification. So in this case, since he didn't post it, we're going to mark him disqualified. But let's say he posted a justification. Given the fact that his video did not follow the task at hand, he then would get a last place, okay, if he posted a justification. We're going to follow the example to the T. Since he did not even post a justification, we're going to put disqualified, and we could already go down to the bottom and disqualify him here because he did not post a justification. But again, let me highlight it. Had he posted it on Blackboard, had he posted a justification here, he would still, the most he can get is 3rd place because he did not create a video that was appropriate for the task at hand. Okay? All right, lastly, we have a student with the last name Bell. But we notice here when we go to the link, Bell did not post. So we have to go back to our instruction sheet, and it says if a student did not post, let me go back up to the first one. If the student did not post a video link or the video link doesn't work, then we're going to circle disqualified. So the student didn't post, Bell here didn't post, we will highlight disqualified here. We don't have to evaluate 2 and 3, however we do have to acknowledge disqualified down here. And since the student did not post a justification, Bell again would get disqualified, and we would acknowledge disqualified again here. And so this would end our assessment for these students that were under the task. And in this case, in our example, the task was shopping resale to buy clothing. Once we finished out that task, we would go back to Blackboard and go under the next task at hand, because you'll see that there are the various tasks on Blackboard, and each one of the students who were assigned those tasks will have their threads listed under those tasks. So you want to judge each task category and the students under those categories at the same time before moving on to the next task category. Once you get done evaluating everything, you're going to actually save. You can either save the document as a whole, or at least the pages that have all the students' names on it, just like this, and the tables. And you're going to save that, and that's what you're going to email back to me as a completed document. Please, again, make sure you read everything, and if you have questions, let me know.